Making one of the best League players ever go 0-12 is something any of us would love to do, but the truth is few of us can actually do it. What's up, GameLeap? The Jizz, and in today's exciting upload, we will be going over one of the hardest stomps I have ever seen. So the best Katarina in the world, Bunghwa, otherwise known as MIDLANE, goes 24-2 and completely dumpsters DOPA, making him go 0-12, and he must solo kill him like 10 times this game. It's crazy. So we are going to break down what this 1000 LP Katarina does so you can do the same in your games. Now for more red hot content just like this, smash that like button to let us know, and let's get into it. Now level 1, because Katarina is such a useless champion, Kat's goal is to not give up any HP for free. So she stands near her tower, but when DOPA moves forward ever so slightly, Katarina throws her Q at DOPA. Knowing when DOPA auto attacks her here, he will draw this minion aggro, but more importantly, when DOPA auto attacks, his character is not moving. This allows Kat to get in melee range, but after missing her dagger's slash, Kat has to back off. Now this trade is good for both sides, and to make sure Kat stays in experience range of these melee minions, she has to take a little more damage from DOPA and uses her second charge of her refillable potion. Now once the wave crashes under Kat's tower, so many players here are going to take way too much harass and have to recall. The way you don't fall into that trap is by simply last hitting with your abilities. Now because Eing in would be way too risky, Kat has to wait for a Q to come back off cooldown, and does get a bit lucky here because Eing like this, well DOPA should be ready for it and punish Kat a lot harder. But notice how Kat runs in the opposite direction after her Shumpo. She doesn't run in a straight line back to her tower, it's away from Orianna. This will reduce the damage you take. Now when level 3 rolls around, we're in the same situation. Orianna has the push and Kat has no sustain because she has used her refill charges, so we have to be precise when trading. So right here, DOPA throws his Q out, and knowing this is on cooldown, Katarina is going to use this dagger from her Q. So when DOPA walks in range of it, she quickly Shumpos to it and Ws, auto attacks DOPA knowing he still doesn't have that Q cooldown and might not have even skilled his E, and quickly Shumpos out after getting the reset from his W's dagger. Now this trade, believe it or not, leads to the first solo kill of the game, and it's actually an exact copy of what we just looked at. So remember, we are looking for our opponent's cooldowns, and there it is. DOPA's Q again, so Kat, after evading it, right clicks behind DOPA and Shumpos and Ws. This enables him to reset his E to gap close, and as he picks up his Q's dagger, he has his Shumpo up again, but notice how he doesn't E straight away. He is also holding his ignite, and this is simply because he wants to auto attack beforehand. If he just E's, auto attacks and ignites, DOPA can flash away and live, but with an extra auto attack in there, DOPA dies. Now speaking of dying, Kat is going to cop one of her 2 deaths here, and the simple reason is because she runs back to her tower to recall. Why not recall in this topside brush? Lee Sin is on this side of the map, meaning the enemy jungler is probably bot side, and she also has the scuttle crab vision to put her even more at ease. This allows Zinzao and Braum to get in range, and she ends up hitting the deck. Now when Kat returns to lane, it's much of the same. Orianna Qs, but when Kat goes for a trade here, can you see the difference? Kat's Q is on cooldown, so she doesn't have another Shumpo reset for this trade, and because she doesn't W, she can't then E back out to avoid Ori's QW combo. Now Kat is also going to get chunked here. She wants to get to Rise to help him out, which is fine, but DOPA is waiting over this wall. Now Kat could very well wall jump on Orianna here, so why doesn't she? Well, this is because Rise is coming mid, and when a teammate is ganking your lane, you never ever want to blow your cooldowns before they gank. You want your abilities for that 2v1, and DOPA dies for the second time this game. Now Kat and Rise shove the wave, and if you ever have a control ward in your inventory as your backing, just use it. Now in this game, Katarina has teleport, and she is about to transfer her lead in the mid lane and put it on the enemy bot lane. Now when she arrives in terms of mechanics, just headbutt your keyboard. But the real reason this becomes a triple kill is because Kat hasn't wasted her teleport and makes this play after her base. This means she has items and is as strong as she can be. If she hadn't made this play with that recall and buy, she would most likely have died. Now with that extra gold, Kat bases and returns to the mid lane, and DOPA is about to die again. Did Kat pay him before this game or something? Now because Leona is already in range of DOPA, Kat has to get there ASAP. So she Shumpos to this minion and Qs. Then once she has collected her dagger, she E's again and then uses her W. She then Shumpos again because of that dagger, gets the kill, and Braum is the next target. So when Leona flashes in, Kat simply E's, W's and auto attacks, but holds her Q. This is because she wants her Q's dagger to land in Braum's path. Now Braum's Unbreakable rebounds the dagger back to Kat, but the wardrobe does eventually die. Now how many of you would believe me if I was to say Kat is going to turret dive DOPA when he runs back to lane? I certainly couldn't believe my eyes when I first watched this, but the real key to making this play is again the enemy's cooldowns. During that last fight, DOPA uses Shockwave, so what is actually going to stop Kat from getting off a full Death Lotus? A DC? That's it. So as soon as DOPA is in range, Kat E's, W's, auto attacks and Qs all at once, then presses R. By this point, because she she is so fed and Ori doesn't have half the items she has, DOPA is already below half HP, and with the W dagger reset, Cat Shumpos onto her prey and Shumpos out to her Q's dagger after killing DOPA. Now, after shoving this wave, you might be like, why is Cat staying for tower plates? And even when she backs off, she decides to stay. Well, this is because she needs a tiny bit more gold for her mythic Hextech Rocket Belt. You can do this in your games, of course, but you have to understand, even if the enemy champions have died, they've had a chance to buy items. You haven't. DOPA, because of all this, is 0-4, and despite having a CS lead, this pales in comparison to that kill diff. And as soon as Cat returns to lane with her mythic, DOPA has to burn his flash. Now, should Cat chase DOPA? Well, if the fight is taking place outside of the mid lane, then we have to consider the other champions on the map. All of this top side of the map is in fog, and chasing might land Cat another kill, but what if Xin Zhao is waiting in the wings? What about the enemy Braum who hasn't shown for ages? So take the flash, don't overextend. Cat shoves the next wave because DOPA most definitely recalled, so he ends up missing this whole wave and Cat gets the first tower. That's unheard of for most Cats. Now on that last base as well, Katarina did something all of you should do if you are winning mid. She swaps her yellow trinket for a red sweeper, and this allows her to roam in areas of fog with a lot more threat, because denying enemy vision gives you more freedom and opportunities to make plays around the map simply because the enemy doesn't know where you are. Now when Cat goes in on Orianna here, it's risky because no allied champions are nearby to help her out, but it's still okay simply because Cat is so farmed. But if you compare this play to this play, this is a lot better because look who's nearby, a teammate. This gives Cat the confidence and backup to actually engage onto the support Braum, and that's another kill. But all of a sudden, the enemy team is converging. The enemy Graves is T-beam to this control ward, Orianna is here, Xin Zhao is here, and Lucian is running up through the river. And Leona is in a bad position, so does Cat try to save her court teammate? No. So Cat stays in this fog of war behind this wall and just waits. Patience is a virtue and only goes in once Xin Zhao has committed to Leona and Orianna is somewhat isolated. Choosing your moments to go in is really what separates the best players, especially those who main assassins, to everyone else. Now when you are as fed as Cat, it can be fine to stay on the map and not recall. So when Lucian and Xin Zhao threaten this mid tower, Cat hangs around, but why not run into this brush earlier? Well, Xin or Lucian could have warded this as they push through mid, and this would give away the red team's ambush. So Cat waits in fog and only moves once Misfortune is in a similar position in the other river. And once the enemy team jumps on MF, Cat then goes in and picks up another kill and assist. Again, timing that engage. Now after shoving the bot wave and basing, Cat is 8-1, DOPA is 0-5, and we are about to watch a mid to late game demolition. So Cat TPs to the bot lane, not wanting to miss any golden experience, and there are no objectives up elsewhere, so it makes sense, and is about to set up another kill on DOPA. So you see this dagger? Well, Cat wants to make it less obvious, she wants to jump to it, so quickly walks back before Eing in. This catches DOPA in range of her Rocket Belt E combo, and that's another solo kill. Now in these situations, some players might be tempted to roam around the map, but when you are so strong and none of the enemy champions are near you, just get the tower. Cat does just that and then immediately backs off because Xin Zhao shows on this ward. Now if I pause it here, how many of you would recall? And if that would be your decision, there's nothing wrong with it, but because Cat is an elite player, she knows that Orianna is going to try farm her way back in the game because it looks as if Cat has indeed recalled. So knowing this, Cat uses her sweeper in her blue side jungle to make sure she is unknown and ends up almost killing DOPA again. Now he shoves this wave of course and backs again, and DOPA is now 0-6. Cat is 9-1, and before her next recall she's going to get 7 kills. So watch this. Here she runs mid because why go anywhere else? Bottom top are miles away from being pushed in, but before she kills Lucian and Braum, look where she stands, behind this wall. So in other words, out of range of the enemy vision. So Lucian has zero idea she is here, and this allows Cat to get super close and kill both enemy bot laners. Now the red team dives the Xin Zhao under this tower because he's alone, and after this play, Cat notices DOPA pushing the bot lane, so runs there ASAP and uses the WE trick to hop over this wall and cut DOPA off. Now his rocket belt allows him to close this gap, and bang, another kill. Now the next 2 kills he gets are sick because he's going to turret dive DOPA under this tier 2 tower all on his own. But again, what really sets this up is where he is positioned before the play itself. So after shoving this wave, he moves into the enemy jungle so the minions don't spot him and waits for an enemy champion to farm this bot wave. So once Lucian and Orianna show, Cat goes in by Eing onto DOPA, then Wing, Qing, and Ring all at the same time, and then Shumpos to Lucian because of the reset to pick up 2 kills, Shumpos out, and this again shows you the importance of, well, not just comboing well on your champion of choice, but concealing your movement in the mid to late game. Now the rest of this game has a few sick kills in it, so I'll show you these as I tell you about the GameLeap website, and yeah, sign up for exclusive access to the best challenger tier content in the world, champion courses, guides, videos on micro, macro, you name it, we have it, links in the description and comment section, and before you leave, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and until tomorrow's video, this has been the Jizz.